What are your favorite, I guess, team bonding activities? What do you guys like to do as a group?
Well, me, I was
Um,
always at Lexi's apartment, Lexi, Hay, and Jess's
yeah.
apartment, because I never wanted to really be at the dorms. So I'm like, hey, Lexi, can I come over? And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
of course. And then, like, I go, and then everyone else ends up going, and then we're all just hanging out. So,
Mhm.
That's what I was gonna say too. It's like whatever we ended up doing, we all somehow ended up usually at my apartment, or we would always just be hanging out and then just kind of let the night do what the night does, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
Well, whenever we would have like days off, we would usually go to like Jess, Lex, and his place, and we'd just sit there and kind of chill. And I don't know, I feel like that brought us a lot closer. So that was my favorite thing to do, like on our days off.
So was there a specific moment or experience when you knew you wanted to choose and go to UCR, and what was that moment?
I remember the first time that Eric texted me and asked if I wanted to, if I would be interested. And I already knew that Kayla had been committed, one of our other teammates. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this would be really, really great. But I didn't get too excited yet. But I think that the final moment where I was like, yeah, I really want to go here was when I stayed up with Aaron on my first night here. I stayed up with Aaron, and then we were just talking like the whole night, and it was just like if the girls are like this here, then I really just wanna come here and just be a part of it.
It was probably on my visit because everyone was so nice and friendly. And the team was so diverse, and I've never really been on on such like a diverse team. And then obviously I discussed it with my parents, and I wanted to be close to home too, so that was a big take in why I chose to come to UCR.
I think the defining factor when I knew like for sure was when I just got to see the campus, the SRC, and just I guess like the hills and stuff. I think for me being out of state, I was able to appreciate just the scenery and some of the really cool architecture on campus, and I just really enjoyed the campus.
Okay. The moment I realized I wanted to come to UCR was definitely when I met the people on the team. That's like still one of my favorite things about playing here. I just like really love the people I'm playing with, and like as a volleyball player, you know how important that is to like your teammates and to enjoy being there. So it was definitely after I met the team and I was able to like have conversations with everyone, and we were all like spending the night together on the official visit. It was definitely what sealed the deal for me.
I think transitioning from a smaller school to a bigger school, it was kind of nice to see being surrounded by a bigger environment. And also it had to be just being around the girls on the team, being around the same type of girls that had the same mindset, same motivation, and just being around a competitive environment. It was just really nice.
When I was watching the practice, I just think the style of practice was something that I really liked, and just being able to be around all the girls on the team, they were super welcoming, and that kind of sealed the deal for me.
How often do you guys go to other teams' games?
I feel like we went to, in the preseason or like before school started, we went to multiple soccer games. And then we went to a mix of the men's and women's basketball games. I feel like there was a lot. We went to as like a team bonding and had like recruits come, but on our own, just having like people who were friends with or like close friends with people on the team or whatnot. And it's like obviously in study hall, that's where we became friends with a lot of other teams. So I guess creating that connection, it's like I'll support your game if you support mine, because you would see like some of the basketball players at our volleyball games, or like what's his name? His name JT on the baseball team. So loud, but like that kind of support is really nice. So it makes you want to support them. So we went to a lot of different games.
I think it's almost like you see them at your game and then you're like, oh my gosh, now I feel like I need to support them. It's like, okay, now we should go watch them. Yeah. But we, just like Kayla was saying, we went to a lot of those games, and it was kind of sad that spring didn't happen because we couldn't go watch all the spring teams play, so that was kind of sad. But from what we did see, we really watched like soccer and basketball a lot.
So if you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would that be?
Watching film. Watching film over and over again. Just watching yourself play, watch your teams that you might be playing. I never had this tradition growing up, or in club, or in high school, or in my junior college. So I think watching film really changed, and I did grow up watching a lot of volleyball, which was good, but I think I never really watched in a critical way. So just watching my games more and watching other teams play more often, and like get used to this like routine.
Just to be more confident in my abilities and work ethic, and not to stress too much about the future. The recruiting process has so many ups and downs, and just to trust your work ethic, trust yourself and your coaches. And then non-volleyball related, I would tell myself to read more books, improve my vocabulary. It's good for college.
I'd probably say live in the moment, just because even like now that we're in like coronavirus, like I'm looking back and like I should have just lived in the moment when I was playing like for freshman year, and also like way back then, because now club is done and like all of that and all your childhood friends that you got to play with growing up, it's like so sad to look back on, but now I'm like happy that it happened, because it created like, it made me be in the spot that I am in today, in which I'm really thankful, but I wish I could have just lived in the moment a little bit more.
Yeah, as opposed to worrying about
future things. Yeah.
Okay. Like, don't let my emotions take over the way I play and present myself, because I know like I'm a very emotional person, and it could come off like in a bad way sometimes. So just kind of being able to control my emotions a lot more.
Volleyball wise, I would tell myself to kind of stop overthinking, and just, I guess this is with everything in life, but I know I personally play better when I have more of like a just have fun mentality. Like when I stop trying to be perfect, then that's when I can just let go and like just play and actually enjoy it. And then not volleyball wise, kind of similar to Ashley's, but not taking things for granted, and just knowing that like even the hard times, you're going to look back and be like, shoot. Because I know like when like all the hard practices, like I would give anything to go back to all of our hard practices right now. So it's like just not taking anything good or bad for granted, and just like controlling what you can control and just letting things play out how they're supposed to play out.
I think that I would tell myself to focus on you. Don't compare yourself to other people. Just a lot of doubt in your mind. And there's just too much going on for you to be worried about someone else. So focus on you. The only person you're really competing with is yourself, both on the court, off the court. If you try to compete with other people, it can affect your performance. But if you do better for yourself, and have so much more lasting change, because you're not doing it for someone else. So, definitely the biggest thing I would tell myself.
I think I would tell myself to relax, like pretty much what you guys are saying. A lot of overthinking or stressing out about things that I just like don't have control over. And when I look back, I'm like, you didn't need to feel so stressed out, or like getting upset in one of the harder practices, or like not being, I guess, content with where I was at the time. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, it's just part of the process. So just enjoy the work and have fun with it, because like you're going to get to the point that you want to get to. It just takes time, you know.
Definitely be to just keep working in volleyball, just to keep improving your skills. You can never be too good at like the basic skills of like passing, ball control, stuff like that. And I would also tell myself that everyone has a different journey. So kind of like Emma said, just don't compare yourself to other people, because right now you are like where you're meant to be, is what I believe.
I focused a lot on perfection, and I focused a lot on If it's not right now, then it's never going to be. So I'd probably just say to myself, just focus on doing your best at the moment and just get better little by little instead of worrying about the results needing to happen instantaneously.
To just be confident in every aspect of your life. Stop overthinking. I'm a big overthinker, so I think just being in the moment and just focusing on the task, and to just be patient with yourself. I think everyone grows at their own pace, so I think just keeping that in mind every day.
I would tell younger Miley that not everything is a big deal. Just don't stress on too many little things. Something that seems like the biggest problem in the world right now isn't going to mean anything next week. And you just have to learn to let go of a lot of things and not hold on to things that aren't worth your time and aren't important to you.